Welcome to History's Echo, where we uncover the forgotten brilliance of civilizations long past. For thousands of years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has stood as a riddle carved in stone, too perfect, too advanced, too mysterious to belong to the age we're told it was built in. Rising from the golden desert like a frozen heartbeat of the earth, it has outlasted every empire, every theory, every attempt to explain how, or why, it was built. According to history books, it was simply a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, but the truth is no mummy was ever found inside. The walls bear no inscriptions, no prayers, no symbols of death. Instead, they hold geometry so advanced that even modern engineers are left speechless. The pyramid aligns almost perfectly with true north, off by less than a fraction of a degree. Its base covers over 13 acres, and the weight of its stone blocks, some 80 tons each, defies logic. How did a civilization over 4,000 years ago cut, move, and place these stones with such accuracy, without iron tools, wheels, or machines? Some say manpower and ingenuity, but others believe something far older was at work. A forgotten science, a technology lost to time. In the late 20th century, engineer Christopher Dunn studied the Great Pyramid not as an archaeologist, but as a machinist. His conclusion shocked the world. The pyramid wasn't a tomb at all, but a power plant, a machine designed to harness the natural energies of the earth. He found that the king's chamber, made entirely of granite, vibrates at a precise frequency. When sound is produced inside, the stone itself hums, amplifying the vibration like a giant tuning fork. Granite contains quartz, a crystal that produces electricity when subjected to pressure, a phenomenon called piezoelectricity. Beneath the pyramid are vast underground water channels. When water flows, it creates vibration. That vibration could have traveled upward through the pyramid structure, setting the granite chambers into motion and generating an electromagnetic field. The limestone casing that once covered the pyramid was a perfect insulator, while the granite interior acted as a conductor. In essence, it was a giant circuit and a resonant power system. But energy wasn't the only mystery. Deep inside the Temple of Dendera, carvings show figures holding large, bulb-shaped objects attached to cords and lotus bases. Egyptologists claim they're mythological symbols. Engineers see something else, devices that look remarkably like electrical lamps. No soot has ever been found in the ceilings of Egypt's inner tombs. So how did they light their underground corridors? Some believe the Egyptians used a form of natural electricity, harnessed from the earth itself. The lotus-shaped bases could represent coils, the cords conductive paths, the bulbs plasma-filled chambers glowing from an unseen power source. It sounds incredible. But then again, so do the pyramids themselves. Even the layout of Egypt's ancient sites appears intentional. The pyramids align with Orion's belt, temples mirror constellations. It's as if the builders understood that energy, celestial and terrestrial, was connected through vibration and geometry. Every angle, every proportion, every line of stone follows harmonic principles. Modern science is beginning to catch up. In 2018, physicists discovered that pyramid shapes can concentrate electromagnetic energy at their bases and chambers. It's real, measurable. What if the Great Pyramid's design was not just symbolic, but functional? The Egyptians themselves believed that sound created the universe. Their god Ptah spoke creation into being. Today, quantum physics says that vibration lies at the core of all matter. It seems the ancients were not speaking in superstition, they were describing science. When sound resonates at certain frequencies, it can move matter, even levitate objects. Imagine a civilization that mastered this. Imagine them using resonance not just to generate energy, but to move the massive stones we still marvel at today. Perhaps the pyramids were built not by slaves hauling rock, but by sound, by a forgotten science that turned vibration into force. The Great Pyramid, then, might not be a monument to death, but to life, to energy, harmony, and knowledge. A message in stone, encoded for a future civilization to rediscover. We look at it today as a relic of superstition, but maybe it's something more. A reminder that once humanity understood how to live in balance with the forces of nature. Maybe that's why the pyramid still stands while everything else crumbles, because truth carved in stone cannot be buried forever. The desert winds whisper across the ruins of ancient Memphis, carrying secrets older than history itself. Long before the pyramids, before the pharaohs we know from textbooks, there are whispers of a civilization whose knowledge reached beyond our imagination. a people who understood the language of the stars and the pulse of the earth. The Egyptians called them the followers of Horus. Some legends say they were survivors of a lost world, a forgotten epoch when humankind lived in harmony with forces we can barely comprehend today. When the Nile was still young, they came, bringing with them the blueprint of the impossible, the art of harnessing the earth's hidden energy. What if the story of Egypt didn't begin with primitive farmers, but with engineers of light and stone? Recent discoveries seem to hint at this. Deep beneath the sands of Abydos, archaeologists uncovered structures far older than the dynastic temples above them. Stone blocks precisely cut, perfectly aligned, untouched by modern tools. Some researchers believe they were carved using techniques that could soften stone, possibly through sound or resonance. Modern experiments with ultrasound have shown that certain frequencies can make solid materials vibrate, reducing their resistance to shaping. Could the ancient builders have known this secret? Every great monument in Egypt, from Giza to Luxor, seems to hum with invisible order. The layout of temples mirrors harmonic ratios. The spacing between columns corresponds to musical intervals. Even the hieroglyphs describing the gods of creation speak of sound, light, and vibration as divine tools. The more you study, the clearer it becomes, and the Egyptians weren't merely building monuments, they were building instruments. In the heart of Karnak Temple, the massive pillars rise like tuning forks toward the sky. When wind moves through the stone corridors, they produce faint tones, natural resonance born from geometry. Some visitors claim to feel the vibration in their bones. Ancient texts describe these places as houses of life, where priests could channel energy from the heavens. But what kind of energy? At Dendera, in the Temple of Hathor, the mysterious carvings of the so-called light bulbs remain one of Egypt's strangest puzzles. The figures appear to hold elongated glass-like tubes connected by cords to lotus bases, and inside them, snake-like lines twist like electric filaments. Many dismiss it as symbolism. Yet the resemblance to early electrical lamps is uncanny. If they truly produced light, what powered them? Could it be that the same energy flowing through the pyramids also fueled the temples? A wireless network of power connected through the Earth's grid? The Nile itself could have served as a natural conductor, carrying telluric currents from one monument to another. The entire landscape of ancient Egypt may have functioned as a living circuit, temples as transformers, obelisks as antennas, pyramids as power nodes. Strangely, this idea finds echoes in modern experiments. In the early 1900s, Nikola Tesla built his Wardenclyffe Tower, designed to transmit energy wirelessly through the ground and atmosphere. He believed the Earth itself was a conductor that, if tuned correctly, it could carry limitless energy across distances. Tesla's dream failed, but perhaps he was reviving something ancient, a science once practiced along the Nile. Some inscriptions describe the Eye of Ra as a source of divine energy, a beam that powered the gods' works. Others mention sound rods that lifted heavy stones through vibration. These are myths to most historians, but what if they're metaphors for forgotten technology? Modern acoustic experiments show that sound can levitate small objects. In theory, with sufficient power and resonance, it could move massive stones. Maybe this is how the Egyptians achieved their impossible feats, not brute force, but harmonic science. The evidence is scattered like broken shards of a forgotten truth. Magnetic anomalies under the pyramids, traces of heat along certain walls, symbols resembling electrical circuits. And still, mainstream history insists it was all done with ropes, copper tools, and slave labor. But deep down, the stones tell another story. At night, when the desert cools and the stars rise over Giza, the pyramids seem alive. Their edges glow faintly under moonlight, casting perfect shadows aligned to the constellations. You can almost feel the rhythm, a heartbeat beneath the sand. It's as if the entire plateau was once part of a symphony of stone and light, built not to honor death, but to celebrate the life force that connects all things. Perhaps that's the greatest secret of ancient Egypt, that technology and spirituality were never separate. They understood that energy, geometry, and consciousness were parts of the same equation, and in their temples they left us clues, carved in silence, waiting for us to listen again. Because maybe the gods they worshipped were not beings in the sky, but the forces of the universe itself: vibration, frequency, and light. And the true builders of Egypt were those who knew how to make the earth sing. Night falls over the ancient Nile. The stars shimmer above the black waters, the same constellations that once guided the priests of Ra. But in those distant ages, the night sky was more than a map, it was a mirror. Every star, every movement of light in the heavens was believed to resonate with power on earth. The pharaohs, they said, were not kings by birth, but initiates, guardians of a sacred science that could bend the forces of nature. This was not magic, it was knowledge, forbidden, hidden, and reserved only for the chosen few. Ancient texts like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth speak of vibrations that shape worlds, of sound that raises stones, and of light that gives life. These cryptic phrases might seem poetic, but modern researchers suspect they describe an advanced understanding of energy and frequency. The priests of Heliopolis, known as keepers of the light, were said to possess instruments capable of measuring the harmonics of the earth. They called it Heka, the power to command creation through sound. Heka wasn't sorcery. It was science disguised in symbolism, a code language that protected sacred knowledge from those unworthy of its power. Imagine the grand halls of the temple at Abu Simbel, carved deep into the rock, its corridors aligned perfectly with the sunrise twice a year, illuminating the statues of the gods inside. This precision isn't coincidence, it's engineering. But the Egyptians didn't use compasses or lasers. They used stars, sound, and vibration. When archaeologists explored the ruins of Saqqara, they found strange alabaster bowls buried beneath the step pyramid, bowls that vibrate when touched, producing pure harmonic tones. Some were discovered near sealed chambers where the air pressure amplifies sound waves. Could these have been tools? Sonic devices used to alter matter and manipulate energy? It sounds unbelievable, until you realize that ancient traditions across the world share the same story. In Tibet, monks use specific chants to levitate stones. In India, the Samarangana Sutradhara describes flying machines powered by mercury and sound. In Egypt, the priests of Ptah may have achieved similar mastery, turning resonance into force. But such power had to be controlled. The pharaohs weren't just rulers, they were initiates of the great mystery schools. Within the hidden chambers of temples like Dendera and Edfu, they underwent years of training, fasting, silence, and meditation to attune their minds to cosmic frequencies. The human body, they believed, was an instrument capable of connecting to the universal field of energy. Modern physics calls this the quantum field. The Egyptians called it Ka. In the Temple of Luxor, wall carvings show human figures surrounded by glowing auras connected by lines of energy. Some scholars see it as spiritual art, but what if it's literal? What if they had discovered bioelectromagnetism, the energy field generated by living beings? Perhaps the pyramids themselves were designed to amplify this life force. Their chambers, precisely proportioned to harmonic ratios, may have acted as tuning devices, intensifying the energy of anyone inside. Even today, people who meditate in replicas of the Great Pyramid report sensations of heat, tingling, and heightened awareness. Could it be that the ancients used these chambers not just for ceremony, but for transformation, to expand consciousness and connect with universal energy? One legend tells of Pharaoh Thutmose III entering the Hall of Light, where he experienced visions of the cosmos, hearing the music of the spheres. When he emerged, he claimed to have learned the secrets of creation, knowledge he vowed to protect at all costs. Perhaps that is why so much of this ancient science vanished, not destroyed but hidden. When Egypt fell to foreign invaders, the initiates concealed their knowledge within myth and symbol. Over centuries, the meaning was lost, and what was once physics became religion. The truth may still lie buried beneath the desert, in sealed chambers no one has yet opened, in inscriptions that modern eyes still cannot read. Because the pharaohs knew something that science is only beginning to rediscover, that energy, sound, and consciousness are one and the same. And those who mastered that trinity could shape reality itself. The priests called it the power of Ra. Modern physicists might call it the unified field. Different names, same truth. The forbidden science of the pharaohs wasn't lost. It was waiting for us to remember. The desert night was silent, yet beneath that silence something hummed. To the ancient Egyptians, this hum was not emptiness. It was the voice of creation itself, the cosmic vibration that sustained life. They called it the sound of the gods, and they believed the Great Pyramid was built to resonate with it. Modern researchers have begun to uncover evidence that seems to support this incredible idea. Inside the king's chamber, made entirely of red granite, Precise measurements reveal that every dimension follows harmonic proportions. When sound waves of specific frequencies are introduced, the walls vibrate, not randomly but in perfect resonance. Some frequencies amplify, others cancel. It's as if the chamber was designed as a giant acoustic device, tuned to the frequency of the Earth itself. Physicists studying this resonance discovered something remarkable. At around 440 Hz, the same frequency used for tuning musical instruments today, the granite walls amplify sound exponentially. That's not coincidence. The Egyptians saw sound not as art but as energy, a bridge between the physical and the divine. Imagine ancient priests standing in the darkness chanting in unison, their voices filling the chamber with vibration. The air itself would begin to move, the stone to hum, the entire pyramid to throb with energy. Anyone standing inside would feel it. The pressure, the pulse, the resonance. The human body, too, would vibrate, merging with the rhythm of the structure. Perhaps that was the point. The Great Pyramid may have been more than a power plant. It could have been a resonance chamber, a device designed to synchronize human consciousness with the natural frequencies of the planet. In that state, the Egyptians believed one could connect to the gods, or rather to the universal field of energy that the gods represented. Ancient texts from Edfu speak of the houses of sound, temples where priests of light could heal the sick and awaken the spirit through vibration. The sick were laid on stone slabs that emitted tones when struck. Even today, we know that sound can affect matter. Ultrasound can heal tissue, low frequencies can break stone. The Egyptians might have mastered this thousands of years ago. Some archaeologists dismiss it as myth. But then, how do we explain the astonishing acoustics found in places like the Serapeum of Saqqara? The granite sarcophagi there weigh over 70 tons each, yet they are polished to a mirror finish and carved to within millimeters of precision. When sound is played inside those chambers, it reverberates like a giant subwoofer, creating standing waves powerful enough to be felt through the body. Coincidence or design? Even more intriguing is the placement of the pyramids themselves. Satellite mapping shows that their positions correspond to harmonic nodes in the Earth's natural electromagnetic grid. The Schumann resonance, a frequency of about 7.83 Hz that pulses through the planet's atmosphere. The pyramids may have been built at these energy hotspots, amplifying Earth's natural vibration, creating a planetary network of resonance. To the Egyptians, this wasn't technology in the modern sense. It was sacred geometry, science and spirituality woven into one. Their gods were frequencies, their temples tuning devices, their rituals precise calibrations of sound, color, and form. And it wasn't just Egypt. The same harmonic ratios appear in Stonehenge, in the Mayan pyramids, even in the temples of Angkor Wat. Could it be that all these ancient civilizations shared a forgotten understanding, that the universe itself is vibration, and through resonance, one can access infinite energy? Nikola Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Thousands of years earlier, the Egyptians were already doing just that. They built monuments that captured the heartbeat of the earth, that turned sound into power and geometry into harmony. Some believe that when the pyramids were active, when water flowed beneath them, when the chambers sang with the voices of the priests, they created not just light, but balance. A frequency that healed, that harmonized, that connected humanity to the stars. Maybe that's why the pyramids were called Per-Nater, the house of the gods, because when the stones sang, the gods awoke. Beneath the Great Pyramid, under millions of tons of stone, lies a secret few have ever seen. Tunnels, chambers, and shafts stretch deep into the earth, some leading nowhere, others sealed since antiquity. What purpose did they serve? For centuries, archaeologists called them ventilation passages, unfinished corridors, or ritual tunnels. But new evidence suggests something far more profound, a hidden power system built into the very bones of the pyramid. In 1993, a small robot named Upuaut-2 was sent into the narrow shafts above the Queen's chamber. Deep inside, it discovered a tiny door with metal fittings, an impossible find in a monument supposedly built with only copper tools. When another probe entered years later, it found yet another sealed door behind it. Two doors, perfectly aligned, leading to nowhere. What were they hiding? Some engineers believed these shafts were not symbolic, but functional. Their angles matched those of electromagnetic resonance waveguides, channels used in modern energy devices to direct and control energy flow. If the Great Pyramid was a kind of resonant power plant, these shafts could have served as conduits, transmitting energy to the surface or even to nearby temples. Beneath the pyramid lies another clue: water. The Giza Plateau sits above a vast network of subterranean aquifers. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed that water still flows beneath the Great Pyramid's foundation. When water moves through limestone, it generates electrical potential, a natural form of energy called the electrokinetic effect. Ancient engineers may have harnessed this force, allowing flowing water to act as a generator for the resonant system above. This is not fantasy. In modern physics, we know that moving water under pressure creates ions and charge differentials. Combine that with the pyramid's piezoelectric granite and its perfect geometry, and what you get is a natural amplifier, an energy reactor built from stone and earth itself. Imagine the ancient engineers of Egypt, not laborers but scientists in linen robes, studying the hum of the ground, mapping water currents and building monuments aligned to Earth's energy nodes. The Great Pyramid, the Sphinx, the temples of Heliopolis, all connected by unseen forces, tuned to frequencies that once pulsed through the planet like blood through veins. At night, perhaps the pyramid glowed faintly, not from torches but from electromagnetic discharge. The air around it ionized, producing a subtle corona. The obelisks nearby, capped with electrum, could have acted as receivers, channeling energy to distant temples. Ancient texts even mention this power. The pyramid texts speak of the light of the Benben stone, a sacred object said to radiate energy from the heavens. The capstone of the Great Pyramid, long lost, may have been a crystal or metallic alloy, a conductor completing the energy circuit between earth and sky. If that's true, then the entire structure wasn't a tomb but a transceiver, a bridge between worlds, grounding cosmic energy into the earth. In 2018, Russian physicists simulated electromagnetic waves inside a virtual model of the Great Pyramid. Their results shocked the scientific world. The pyramid shape focused energy within its chambers and beneath its base. It literally concentrated electromagnetic fields at specific points, exactly where the ancient builders placed granite blocks in hidden cavities. Coincidence? Or confirmation? Perhaps the Great Pyramid was never finished because it was never meant to be a monument. It was a machine, alive when water flowed beneath it, when the air hummed with vibration, when the priests chanted to activate its harmonics. Over time, as the Nile shifted and the water dried, the system fell silent. The light went out. What remains is the husk of a power once beyond imagination, a masterpiece of stone that still holds a heartbeat, faint but eternal. And maybe, just maybe, that's why it still stands when everything else has crumbled. Because it wasn't built merely by human hands, but by a knowledge that understood the living energy of the earth itself. A forgotten power waiting beneath the sands. When the first explorers crawled inside the Great Pyramid in the 9th century, they expected treasure, gold, jewels, the body of a mighty pharaoh. What they found instead was something stranger: empty chambers, silent corridors, and the sense that the entire monument was alive. The air felt charged, almost electric. Metal instruments reacted oddly. Candles flickered without wind. It was as if the pyramid itself was breathing. Centuries later, engineers began to notice something even more unusual. The Great Pyramid's internal design follows the exact pattern of a machine. Not random architecture, but functional engineering. The Grand Gallery, for example, rises like a slanted tunnel lined with 27 pairs of mysterious niches, each carved with impossible precision. Egyptologists call them architectural supports. But what if they once held components, rods, resonators, or devices that made the entire gallery function as part of a larger system? Christopher Dunn, the aerospace engineer who studied these chambers, noticed that their dimensions mirror the interior of certain acoustic amplifiers. When sound waves of specific frequencies bounce within, they create standing waves, the same phenomenon used in today's resonant cavities and particle accelerators. To Dunn, the pyramid was not a tomb. It was an energy machine designed to interact with Earth's vibrations. The granite of the king's chamber, dense with quartz crystals, acted as the energetic core. The Grand Gallery may have amplified mechanical or acoustic energy generated by water flow below. and the shafts, precisely angled, might have released ionized energy upward, like exhaust vents from a power plant. If this sounds impossible, consider this. In modern laboratories, scientists have discovered that stone can act as both a capacitor and a conductor under the right conditions. When subjected to electromagnetic fields, quartz vibrates and emits light, a property known as triboluminescence. The ancients may have harnessed this very principle, transforming sound into light, vibration into power. Strangely, traces of extreme heat have been detected on certain blocks in the king's chamber, not from fire, but from something that once caused the stone to partially melt. The same effect is found in the sarcophagus, which shows microscopic evidence of thermal stress. What could have produced such heat? Was the chamber once exposed to an intense burst of energy, a reaction within the pyramid's core? And then there's the mystery of the missing capstone. Ancient writings describe it as the Benben stone, said to emit a radiant light visible for miles. Could this have been a crystalline component? Perhaps gold-capped quartz, channeling the electromagnetic current generated inside? Without it, the system would have been incomplete, silent. All across Egypt, other clues hint at similar technology. In the Temple of Hathor, small copper and gold objects shaped like coils were found near statues of the goddess of energy and love. In Abydos, the walls show strange carvings resembling machines, shapes that look like flying craft, electric devices, even submarines. Historians call them coincidences, but to the ancient eye, these were symbols of forces they once commanded. The Egyptians never separated science from the divine. The word nature, meaning God, also meant force of nature. To build in harmony with these forces was to worship them. Every temple, every obelisk, every pyramid was part of a vast network, an integrated system of geometry, energy, and consciousness. Perhaps that is why the priests guarded their secrets so fiercely. The knowledge to draw power from the earth, to channel it, amplify it, and perhaps even weaponize it, was too dangerous for the uninitiated. Over generations, the wisdom was hidden in myth, coded into symbols of gods and stars. When Alexander the Great entered Egypt, he was initiated into these mysteries. The Romans too sought them. The Library of Alexandria once held scrolls describing machines of light used by the ancient priests. All were lost in fire. Or were they hidden away, buried under the desert sands, waiting for another age to rediscover them? Modern technology is beginning to echo these same principles. Wireless energy, resonance, frequency healing, zero-point fields. Everything Tesla dreamed of mirrors the symbols carved into temple walls thousands of years ago. Maybe that's not coincidence. Maybe history isn't a straight line of progress, but a cycle, one that rises and falls as knowledge is gained, lost, and rediscovered. And perhaps the Great Pyramid still hums quietly, its energy dormant but not dead, waiting for humanity to tune itself once more to the frequency of the gods. Because in ancient Egypt, power wasn't just measured in volts or watts, it was measured in harmony. Long before the Great Pyramid was even imagined, an older guardian stood watch over the Giza plateau, the Sphinx, half lion, half man, carved from a single massive block of limestone, its gaze eternally fixed toward the rising sun. For centuries, it has been called the guardian of the gates, but few ever asked, what gate? When Napoleon's soldiers first uncovered the buried body of the Sphinx, they were awestruck. The monument looked ancient, far older than the pyramids behind it. Geological studies now support this suspicion. Erosion patterns on the Sphinx's body show deep vertical grooves caused not by desert wind, but by heavy rainfall. Egypt hasn't seen that level of rain in over 9,000 years. This means the Sphinx could be at least 12,000 years old, a relic from a forgotten civilization predating dynastic Egypt itself. If true, then the Sphinx isn't just a statue. It's a message from an age before recorded history. Beneath the Sphinx lies another enigma, the fabled Hall of Records. Ancient texts, especially from the Hermetic traditions, speak of a chamber hidden beneath the paws of the Sphinx, a vault said to contain scrolls of lost knowledge, including the secrets of the gods and the story of humanity's true origin. In 1997, seismic scans conducted by researchers from Florida State University and the Edgar Cayce Foundation revealed rectangular anomalies beneath the Sphinx's right paw, cavities that could be artificial chambers. Egyptian authorities, however, quickly restricted access, claiming the results were misinterpreted. Yet rumors persist that secret excavations were carried out at night, and that what was found there could rewrite history itself. But what could possibly be hidden beneath the sands of Giza that would threaten our understanding of civilization? Let's go back to the stars. The ancient Egyptians aligned almost every sacred monument with specific constellations. The Great Pyramid aligns perfectly with Orion's belt, the 3 stars of Osiris, the god of rebirth. The Sphinx facing due east aligns with the constellation Leo, the lion. Around 2500 BC, the era when the Sphinx may have been built, Leo rose directly on the horizon at dawn during the spring equinox. This means the Sphinx and the pyramids together form a celestial map, a mirror of the heavens frozen in stone. The Egyptians believed that these alignments opened pathways between Earth and the stars. Not metaphorically, but literally. What if those pathways were technological? Imagine the pyramids as frequency resonators tuned to Earth's electromagnetic field. The Sphinx as the guardian and activator, a marker for the energy node. When the stars aligned, Orion, Sirius, and Leo, the resonance between Earth and sky could have created what we might call today a stargate. Ancient myths describe this process in symbolic terms. The Duat, the Egyptian underworld, was said to be a gateway to the stars, traversed by the soul of the pharaoh after death. But what if this journey of the soul was also a technological metaphor, describing the transmission of consciousness or matter through resonance and energy fields? Inscriptions in the Temple of Abydos show strange objects resembling rings, beams, and boats floating in the air. To modern eyes, they look almost mechanical, like portals or energy conduits. Could these be remnants of the same technology once used at Giza? The priests of Heliopolis, keepers of the solar mysteries, claimed that the Great Pyramid was a house of ascension, a structure capable of transforming the initiate into light. Some researchers now believe this referred to an advanced form of consciousness technology, the ability to raise one's vibrational frequency until physical matter itself became energy. If that sounds too mystical, remember, modern physics tells us that everything is vibration, and that matter and energy are interchangeable. The ancients may have known this not as theory but as practice. Perhaps the Sphinx was more than a monument. Perhaps it was a key, a symbol marking the location where heaven met earth, where knowledge, energy, and spirit converged. The silence of the desert hides many things, but under the Sphinx, beneath the eternal gaze of that weathered face, something ancient may still sleep, waiting for the day humanity is ready to remember. The glory of Egypt did not end in war or famine. It ended in silence. A silence so deep that even the stones seemed to mourn. No one truly knows what happened. One moment, the civilization that built the Great Pyramid, a structure so advanced that modern engineers still struggle to replicate it, stood in full brilliance. The next, the power that fueled their world simply vanished. Legends whisper of a great cataclysm, a flood, a fire, a sky that fell. Some claim it was punishment from the gods. Others believe it was the natural cycle of Earth resetting itself. But perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Ancient inscriptions, now eroded by time, speak of an age called Zep Tepi, the first time. It was the golden era when the gods walked among men, teaching them the laws of the universe. These gods were not divine beings in the religious sense. They were keepers of technology, masters of energy, knowledge, and geometry. But knowledge is power, and power breeds division. Some priests seeking control began to hide the secrets once shared freely. What was once sacred science turned into mystery and ritual. The pyramids, once instruments of energy, became tombs of memory. The resonance stopped. The hum of the earth fell quiet. Then came the flood, an event remembered not just in Egypt but across the world. In Mesopotamia's Epic of Gilgamesh, in the Bible's story of Noah, in the Mayan Popol Vuh, a cataclysmic event that reshaped continents and erased civilizations. When the waters receded, only fragments of the old world remained. The survivors, the followers of Horus, as Egyptian texts call them, carried what knowledge they could save. They became the builders of the first dynasties, using symbols and myths to encode the science they could no longer fully replicate. The gods were gone, but their echoes lived on in temples, in rituals, in stone. Thousands of years later, Greek scholars like Pythagoras and Plato would travel to Egypt to learn from the last guardians of this wisdom. Plato would later write of a lost civilization, Atlantis, destroyed in a single day and night of misfortune. His source? Egyptian priest at the Temple of Neith, who told him the story of an ancient world destroyed by its own misuse of power. Could Atlantis and Zep Tepi have been the same place? The same civilization? If so, Egypt was its surviving outpost, the keeper of its flame. Over time, that flame dimmed. Conquerors came and went, Persians, Greeks, Romans. Each took fragments of Egypt's mysteries and reshaped them. The original purpose of the pyramids was forgotten. Temples crumbled. The desert reclaimed the land. By the time Napoleon's scholars arrived, the Great Pyramid was a mystery once again, a silent witness to a forgotten age. But even in ruin, it still spoke in its own way. The mathematics of its design encoded the dimensions of the Earth, the distances of the planets, and the speed of light. Proof that whoever built it understood the universe far better than we ever imagined. Modern Egyptologists see myth where others see memory, but every myth begins with truth. The story of Osiris and the god torn apart and resurrected may symbolize the cycle of civilization itself. The ancient knowledge was not destroyed, only dismembered, scattered across time and space, waiting to be reassembled. And perhaps now, in this new age of rediscovery, that resurrection is beginning. When we rediscover frequency, resonance, vibration, when we see the universe not as a machine of chaos but a symphony of order, we are walking the same path the ancients once walked. The gods did not die. They became part of the stones, the stars, and us. For centuries, the Great Pyramid stood as an unsolved equation, a monument of impossible precision. But in recent decades, scientists have begun to realize something extraordinary. The technology of the ancients wasn't superstition. It was science, advanced, elegant, and deeply connected to nature. In 2018, physicists from Germany and Russia made a startling discovery. When they modeled the Great Pyramid's internal structure with electromagnetic simulations, they found that it naturally concentrates energy at specific points within its chambers, especially in the king's chamber and beneath the base. The pyramid wasn't random stone, it was a geometric amplifier. Sound familiar? The same concept Nikola Tesla explored when he built his Wardenclyffe Tower, a device meant to transmit wireless energy through the Earth's natural resonant frequencies. Tesla believed the planet itself could carry limitless energy if one could just tune to it correctly. And that's exactly what the Egyptians may have done thousands of years before. They knew that certain shapes, triangles, cones, spirals, could channel energy. They built temples aligned to magnetic ley lines in star systems, creating harmonics between heaven and earth. Today, engineers use identical principles in antennas, waveguides, and energy resonators. Take quartz, for example, the same material used in the granite blocks of the king's chamber. Modern electronics rely on quartz crystals to stabilize frequencies in everything from watches to satellites. When compressed or vibrated, quartz generates an electrical charge, the piezoelectric effect. Now imagine billions of tons of quartz within the Great Pyramid, vibrating in harmony with Earth's natural frequency. That's not mysticism, that's physics, Tesla once said. In the future, energy will be drawn directly from the natural medium. He was describing the same limitless energy the ancients may have already mastered, not through combustion or wires, but through resonance. Even modern medicine echoes this ancient understanding. Frequency-based therapies, from ultrasound healing to electromagnetic stimulation, are proving what the priests of Heliopolis already knew. Vibration affects matter, and harmony restores balance. Quantum physics takes this idea even further. It tells us that everything in the universe, from atoms to galaxy, is vibration. Matter, energy, thought, all waves interacting in a grand symphony. Ancient Egyptians expressed this truth through myth, the god Thoth creating the world by speaking the word, sound shaping reality. Was that just poetry, or an encoded description of vibrational physics? In recent years, researchers have begun experimenting with acoustic levitation, using sound to lift objects. With the right frequency, small stones can be suspended in mid-air. The ancient legends that spoke of the stones that sang during pyramid construction suddenly sound less like fantasy. Maybe the builders didn't need brute force. Maybe they tuned the stones to vibrate at their resonant frequency, reducing their weight, just as sound waves can make grains of sand dance into geometric patterns today. And what about light? Ancient Egyptian carvings in the Temple of Dendera show figures holding objects that resemble bulbs connected by cords. Egyptologists say they're symbolic, but the hieroglyph beside them reads the light of the gods. Could it have been literal? A symbolic record of ancient energy devices? Perhaps the ancients reached a level of technology so unified with nature that it didn't look like machines at all. Their science wasn't built of metal and circuits, but of stone, sound, water, and geometry. Natural materials resonating with universal laws. Maybe that's why their knowledge lasted so long. It didn't depend on wires or fuel, but on harmony, something timeless, indestructible. Today, as we rediscover resonance, frequency, and quantum coherence, we're beginning to unlock the same universal truths. The pyramids are not just tombs. They're textbooks written in stone, waiting for us to read them with the right eyes. Perhaps the real question is not how the ancients built the pyramids, but why they wanted to teach us through them. Because hidden within their silence lies an invitation to remember that power is not just energy but balance, and that the greatest technology is harmony itself. The sun rises over Giza, casting its golden light upon the ancient stones. For thousands of years, the Great Pyramid has stood in silence, a monument to a forgotten age. But silence is not absence, sometimes silence is waiting. Scientists today are returning to Egypt, armed with instruments the ancients could never have imagined, or perhaps never needed. Ground-penetrating radar, muon scanners, and satellite imaging have revealed something astonishing. The Great Pyramid is not solid. Hidden within are unexplored chambers, voids stretching hundreds of feet long, sealed for millennia. The largest of these, discovered in 2017, sits directly above the Grand Gallery, a mysterious big void. Its purpose remains unknown. Some believe it could be a structural cavity. Others whisper it might be the energy chamber, the heart of the pyramid's lost function, still dormant, still waiting. But there's something else. In 2023, researchers recorded faint electromagnetic anomalies emanating from the pyramid's apex, as if the stones themselves still hum with energy. It's weak but consistent. When mapped, the frequencies form harmonic patterns identical to those found in the Schumann resonance, the Earth's own heartbeat. Could it be that the pyramid is still active, not as a machine of power, but as an antenna of memory? Around the world, people are beginning to rediscover the principles the ancients lived by: frequency healing, sacred geometry, zero-point energy. Quantum scientists now speak of coherence fields, the same idea that ancient priests described as ma'at, the harmony of all things. It's as if humanity is remembering something it once knew, something buried deep in our collective past. Imagine a future where we no longer burn fuel for energy, but tune into it, where cities hum in resonance with the earth, powered by vibration, not destruction. Where medicine heals not by chemicals, but by harmonizing the body's frequency. This isn't fantasy. It's the logical continuation of what began in Egypt. Perhaps that's why the pyramids were built to last for eternity, not as tombs, but as teachers. Each block, each angle, each alignment was a message written in the universal language of mathematics and vibration. The ancients knew that one day, far in the future, when humanity was ready, we would decode it. We are that generation. The more we study the pyramids, the more they seem alive, like an ancient circuit slowly reawakening. The stones hold memory, the geometry holds truth, and beneath the sands of Giza, the old frequencies begin to stir once more. Maybe the awakening the ancients spoke of was not the return of gods from the sky, but the reawakening of knowledge within us. A remembrance that we too are made of vibration, energy, and light. In that sense, the pyramids never lost their power. They only changed form, from stone and sound to thought and consciousness. And now, as science and spirituality converge once again, perhaps we are ready to complete the circle, to pick up where our ancestors left off. As the sun sets on the Giza plateau, its rays strike the pyramid at the exact angle they did thousands of years ago. For a moment, light dances along the ancient walls, golden, alive, almost speaking. And if you listen closely, you can still hear it. A faint hum beneath the desert wind, the song of the stones, the heartbeat of the gods. Because the truth was never lost, only waiting for us to remember.